What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Strength Classroom. So, what exactly is the max effort method? So many people get this confused because they think it's just one thing, but there's so many different ways to explore it, but I'm just going to talk about the basics. So this approach was popularized by Louis Simmons at Westside Barbell, and it's about lifting maximal loads. But when people hear the max effort method, they think it means you just max out and you have to do your best on that exercise. But it doesn't always mean going for a personal best. The max effort method focuses on working up to heavy singles, heavy doubles, or heavy triples. And the key is to lift as much weight as possible, but for that day, not for all time. It's about training with intensity and effort rather than testing your limits. So instead of maxing out every week on the same exercise, you rotate through different intensities, and you can do that through rotating different exercises or different rep ranges. This allows you and your body to recover while still challenging your strength. So why you don't need to max out every week, and probably why you shouldn't as well. Maxing out on a 1 rep max every week is absolutely not necessary. When you're constantly pushing near 100% weights, you're not giving your muscles and central nervous system the recovery they need. So over time, it'll lead to burnout, injury, and that's about it, really. Instead, you can rotate through, like I said, different intensity levels. Focus on a mix of rep ranges. You can maybe have a down week where you're doing a 5 rep max with 85% of your 1 rep max, or a 3 rep max with 90% or 88% or somewhere around there. This allows your body to recover while still progressing in strength. By using this strategy, you're still working up to a maximal strength zone, but without the stress of always hitting new PRs. Rotating intensities or exercises is what keeps this method from working, or what allows this method to work, So when you rotate through exercises, you're also rotating through intensities. Because let's say you're doing a close grip bench press 1 week and a wide grip bench press another week. You're going to move 2 different types of weights on that exercise. Your wide grip might be 50 pounds heavier than your close grip, or maybe you're stronger with a close grip. I know I am. And that allows your body to kind of relax because you're using less overall weight. Your central nervous system is going to be less fatigued, and that allows you to kind of push the limits without actually pushing your complete maxes. So each week, instead of having a complete 1 rep max, you focus on different intensities. So you could work up to 85% of your 1 rep max for a week. And you might accomplish that through doing a different exercise, like I just said. Just as long as it's not too different. You don't want to go from a close grip bench to a standing overhead press. That's just 2 totally different exercises. But the main thing with the max effort method is you just want to do weights over 90% of your 1 rep max. That is what is considered max effort, and you want to do enough in there. I think they want at least 3 reps over 90%, and the reason they came up with that is because you do 3 singles in a powerlifting meet. Also, the fact that they're just pushing huge amounts of weights, and you don't want to be doing like 20 reps over 90%, not 20 reps in a row, but 20 reps within a whole training system or session. That's going to overtrain you for sure. So dropping down to as low as 85% or 90%, that allows you to keep the max effort method going. And this is something I explain in almost every ebook I have, that you don't have to max all the time, especially that you don't have to do singles. You can do singles, you can do doubles, you can do triples. For some reason, I skipped 4s, and you can do sets of 5 as well. So these occasional weeks that you're doing maybe even a heavy double will allow you to kind of rest a little bit. But triples and 5s are going to allow you to not hit that top range while still training somewhat heavy. So these occasional weeks are what will force your body to adapt, to recover, and still drive strength gains. So this rotation is perfect for athletes who want to avoid burnout but still increase their maximum overall strength. Then what is the benefit? So the biggest benefits, like I just mentioned, is to avoid overtraining and injury. By not maxing out every single week, you're giving your body a chance to recover. This is important for athletes who are also training for sports, because you can have what I like to call down weeks, not necessarily a deload week, but if you are doing no maxing out that week, no lifting above 90%, that's going to give you a week where it's going to feel like a deload, but it's going to give you just enough stimulus as well. So your body needs recovery. You can't just constantly max out every single week, no matter what the exercise is. So with the rotating intensities, you can still push your limits without risking injury or hitting any form of plateau. It's about smart training. It's about optimal training, not about constantly maxing out. So to wrap it up, the max effort method is about intensity and effort, not just hitting a 1 rep max every single time you touch a barbell. By rotating between 85% of your 1 rep max and pushing above 90% of your 1 rep max, you can maximize your strength gains while avoiding the burnout and injuries that come with constantly testing your limits. If that was the case, powerlifters would just enter a meet every week and max out their squat, their bench, and their deadlift, but you can't do that. So this approach is perfect for powerlifters and athletes who are looking to build absolute strength over time. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't always use under 90% weights all the time. You have to push it eventually. But by waving up and down, it gives you a good foundation to keep yourself fresh and to keep yourself actually getting strength gains, as opposed to constantly testing your strength gains every single time that you go into the gym. So recovery is important, smart training is important, and that will allow you to have long-term gains. Don't just focus on what you can do in a month, what you can do in a week, what you can do in 2 months. Focus on how your training program is going to evolve throughout the course of a year. And you have to think long-term. You have to keep a little bit in the tank. Now, one last thing I'll say, and I used to be like this, is when you are repeating a variation, let's say you have 5 exercises that you rotate into your max effort training. The next time you get to the similar variation, let's just say it's a deficit deadlift off the floor. Let's say you pulled 500 pounds off the floor. The next time you do that, you don't need to force huge amounts of progression. Louis Simmons called it the plan. Every time they repeated a variation, all you had to do was beat that variation by 5 pounds. And if you did, you know the plan is working. You don't have to beat it by 50 pounds. You don't have to get these huge, massive personal records. You just got to beat it by a little bit. And that's how you know the plan is working. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Maybe share your max effort rotation, your understanding of the max effort method, the way you rotate stuff and all that. Have you tried it? Have you heard of it? Let me know all that crap in the comments. And as always, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.